The 2005 Indianapolis 500. One name took the IndyCar series from the sports page to the front page. That name, Danica Patrick. One race, one dream, almost fulfilled.
The green flag is out. Let the chase begin.
All is right with the world. Danica Patrick leading the Indianapolis 500.
And if they don't know she's here, they do now.
Tell you what, if people aren't impressed with this, I don't know what they're going to be impressed by.
I can't wait to come back again.
The wait is over. A year of anticipation and expectations. Now, a chance at redemption. Danica Patrick next on SportsCenter.
Welcome to SportsCenter, presented by Weber Grills at the Indianapolis 500.
We welcome you to SportsCenter at the Indianapolis 500. Along with Scott Goodyear, I'm Jerry Punch, and we are very pleased to be joined today by Danica Patrick, who, with a fourth-place finish last year as a rookie, became the highest-finishing woman in Indy 500 history. She was also the first woman to ever lead a lap here at Indianapolis. And Danica, now that you've had a year to reflect on all that went on a year ago, what was the significance of what you accomplished here last May?
Well, it's just the feeling that you get when you try so hard for so long for something. And for me, it's almost like a relief. And just when you think that's enough to hold on for, good enough for, for your career, to for people to believe in you, it's not. You have to keep pushing. But it was good to show everyone that whether it's my first, fourth, or 40th race, I can drive.
We're going to recount your history-making run just that you had last year here very shortly, but let's think about this month of May. You guys have struggled to find speed against the Penske's and the Ganassi cars, but you did a great job to finish 10th in qualifying. What do you look forward to the race? Do you think you can run with those guys throughout the race itself?
Well, I think the one strength that we're going to have, and I'm not completely sure, because you never quite know till race day. I didn't anticipate Sam to do 2:29 by himself, but I think that we have a pretty consistent car. I think that while there wasn't a whole lot of top sheer speed that we needed for qualifying, I think that we're going to have good speed and, most importantly, consistent speed. And that's what pays off at over 500 miles, I think. So, and then, above all, keeping clean and making sure that you don't make mistakes is obviously vital here, too.
Well, last year, you not only ran up front, actually, you led 3 times for 19 laps. So let's go back and relive that day, May 29, 2005, as Danica relives her first Indy experience with our Marlo Klein.
So the warm-up lap, and you just hope to God that you don't crash in the first corner. And I was always told to, just be patient in this race. This is Castroneves, and so I got a run on him, but not enough, and so I backed off. And right there, I got below him, below the white line, so that means that I'm going to get a run. And then he blocked me, which didn't make me very happy, and I lost a little bit of ground because I was directly behind him. And I got around Helio finally and took off for the lead.
When you were passing Elio, was there ever a point where you felt like, do you think to yourself, I'm passing, a 2-time winner, that I'm passing one of the best at this place?
You really do. You feel very confident and very good about the fact that you're faster than these great drivers.
And Danica Patrick has stalled the car.
On this lovely pit stop, all is well, and then I stall the thing. And I'm serious, every time I watch this, I just get really mad. The problem was they couldn't get it started right away, right here, because I had my foot in the clutch, and then it won't let you turn it over. Oh, see, that was not good. Kosuke is not a very nice driver out there. He actually is pretty rough on the track, and so he was off the pace. And I'm not sure why he would even try and run close to me, but that's his fault. That was just a stupid move.
Did you have a chance to talk to him about it?
Unfortunately, which I should have said something to him, I didn't. But I promise you, if it comes up again, I will address it. I am baffled still by the crash that happened on one of the last restarts. I don't know if, Dan brake checked the field and slowed everyone down, or if my tires were just cold, but I went to just get a little bit staggered to Scott Sharp because I came up on him kind of quick, and then it just lost it. I feel bad that I took out a lot of cars in the process.
There was the stalling in the pits, there was the Kosuke situation, there was the kind of the spin. How many times during this race did you think my day is over?
Oh my gosh, like, I definitely very firmly, twice. When I stalled and when I spun. But definitely when I spun, I thought, oh my gosh, I just hope I don't die here.
Danica Patrick, your leader. Danica Patrick leads the Indianapolis 500.
The second you took the lead, did you realize it?
I didn't realize I was going to be taking the lead until they all had peeled off in turn 4. And then I was in the lead. Then on this restart, I just didn't want to get past. That would have been horrible. So I kind of ran down the middle of the track to make sure I could defend if I needed to. And then, how easy. I just pulled away. I just pulled away.
When the caution came out and Dan got you at the line, did you think you had him?
My tires are getting old, so I couldn't keep it low anymore. So he got by me, only just, as we'll see as we cross the start-finish line. I thought I was ahead of him, but I wasn't totally disappointed or angry or questioning when they told me I wasn't.
Danica Patrick going side by side with Weldon. She'll be the leader in turn number 1.
My goodness, Patrick's got the lead.
Good move. I got a good run on him. Lo and behold, I got the jump and passed him. And when I was in the lead, it wasn't excitement. It was just like, oof, thank God I don't have to follow anybody. I can try and pull away now. This is just perfect for me. When I took the lead from Dan, that's when I really was like, I can win this thing.
Weldon will try to take the lead into 1.
And he will get the job done.
I couldn't keep it below the white line, and if that's the case, then the car behind you, see, he can go lower than me, and he's keeping his front wing on the ground, and he gets a run and is able to go by me.
For much of the late stages of this race, it has been the Dan and Danica show, but it will be Dan Weldon winning the 89th Indy 500.
That little old Dan Weldon, he's always there at the end, and he was there at the end of that one too. And that's a good race car driver, though. You know, he saves it for the part that matters instead of trying to be a hero at the beginning.
When he got past you and you ended up finishing 4th, was there a sense of disappointment?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was disappointed. I was really disappointed. I didn't know if I should have just not saved as much fuel and risked it a little bit more because it's the Indy 500. There's always that chance that there's more in the tank that you don't know about. I'd have to say that considering all the things that happened, I suppose I had a pretty lucky day.
Great memories from last May here at Indianapolis. Danica, what did you learn from last year's race that'll help you here on Sunday?
I learned that, well, and I took this into last year's race too, but I think the race just backed it up. And that's talking to the guys that have been here before, that have won before, and I can really remember Rutherford telling me, it's a long race, be patient, don't get upset if something bad happens, there's plenty of time to come back. And my gosh, I went to the back of the field twice. And so I think that it just backed up that whole idea of be patient. You of course want to make the most of every opportunity you can, and while I think it's going to be really important this year with everybody in a Honda, but you just can't make mistakes in this race. I mean, I don't know what would have happened if I wouldn't have stalled and if I wouldn't have crashed. I'm not sure. But all I know is, like I said, I did get pretty lucky at the end of the day.
And had a great run. Well, still ahead, we'll talk about the man responsible for bringing Danica Patrick to the IndyCar Series. Danica will share with us the best advice she's ever gotten from Bobby Rahal when SportsCenter at the Indy 500 returns.
SportsCenter, presented by Weber Grills at the Indianapolis 500. Brought to you by Weber, making the world a better place, one grill at a time. And in part by Midas. For mechanics known for their work and their word, trust the Midas touch.
This is Danica Patrick's second season with the Rahal Letterman team and her second year alongside teammate Buddy Rice. What's it like to hang out with a former Indy 500 champion? Let's find out the answer in tonight's Daily Diary.
Hi, I'm Buddy Rice, and today we're going to be cruising here in Indy, some of these old hot rods, and we're going to go over and stop at Indy Speed Custom and Restoration, where they build cars just like this, and kind of have an enjoying day checking out hot rods. So let's go. to Indy Speed Customs and Restorations to check out some other cars being worked on by Kerry and his guys who built some of the cars that are out cruising with us today. That's the 55 Chevy. It's a nice day to be out driving, that's for sure. If I could take one thing or one little part off of these cars and put it onto the Indy car, I think one would be obviously be the history, because most of these cars are lots older than me. Definitely a little more black on my car would be good. I like that. That's all we have right now. Thanks for coming with me down here to Indy Speed Custom and Restoration. I'm gonna go check the rest of this shop out, see what else they got around here. Maybe I can pick up another car for myself. So hopefully we'll see you guys at the racetrack or out cruising around. See ya.
Danica, we saw that Buddy Rice is a real car enthusiast with his hot rods. Tell us something about Buddy that the average fan may not know.
That's tough. Buddy's a pretty forward guy, you know. He doesn't really hold anything back. He's pretty true to himself and honest. Maybe if you watch that, you'd think he'd only have hot rods, but I'm pretty sure he's got a couple of like modern sports cars too. So, you know, he's definitely a car buff guy. He definitely likes cars, which I suppose that's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Guy thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Danica, you drive for Bobby Rahal, one of the most respected car owners in the business. What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten from Bobby?
The best piece of advice was when he told me to drive like you have something to prove every time. And I think that's a really great thought or idea to put into your head. Don't take anything for granted is kind of what it's saying, and I really believe that's true. You know, you have to drive like you mean it and drive like you want the job and want to win the race all the time, or I believe you're just leaving something on the table.
Danica, your season started with the tragic death of your teammate Paul Dana at Homestead. How difficult was it for this team to overcome that and regain their focus to move ahead?
It's obviously a very sad situation. As you guys know, danger it's pretty obvious in racing. We're driving a couple 100 miles an hour right next to each other, turning into each other, trying to intimidate one another. It's a dangerous world, and it's a reality that we know is there. But you know, the best thing that you can do is deal with it in your own way, and probably get back racing again. Thoughts and prayers are with the family, and obviously they're the biggest victims and the people that you know, have to deal with the most by far. Paul was only our teammate for a very short time, but we did realize his determination for him to bring ethanol into motorsports, and he loved that sponsor like a child, and to have that passion and drive and determination, I think that there's a lot of drivers that could probably learn something from that.
Oh, I totally agree. We could learn a lot, have learned a lot from Paul Dana. Well, when we return, it's Danica Patrick, the early years, from a young girl racing go-karts in Roscoe, Illinois, to an IndyCar favorite. How did it all begin? We'll explore that with more on SportsCenter in a moment.
The Indianapolis 500, Sunday noon Eastern on ABC.
Welcome back to SportsCenter, presented by Weber Grills at the Indianapolis 500.
Danica Patrick's presence has certainly had a profound impact on motorsports history. Her performance on the track has captured the eyes and the hearts of race fans everywhere. Her motorsports roots first took shape at the age of 10 when she started racing go-karts. And even at such a young age, she showed that she had the drive and determination to be successful. Scott Van Pelt has more.
That was Danica Patrick in the 10 machine right there.
Okay, Danica's your winner. This is Danica Patrick in the early years here.
I started racing go-karts when I was 10 years old, and it was really something to do together as a family with my parents and my sister, because my dad worked a lot and my mom stayed home and took care of us. So it was just a good way to be a better family.
I think she was born to do this, really, to be honest. She just found a passion for it so early. She loved it. There was some desire and some passion there that you don't see in adults, and she would do whatever it took to reach those goals.
When Danica was a child, her dreams of driving a race car were anything but childlike. However, Mom wasn't sure this was the right career path for her daughter.
Well, I was probably the skeptic of the family, but I always thought, you know, she could do well, but it's such a slim number of people that really get a chance to pursue this dream and actually reach it.
Probably the big decision that made her know that I wanted to be a race car driver was when I was 16 and moved to England. I left school, and I suppose at that point, if she didn't think it was going to happen or thought it was a bad move to make, she would have spoke up then.
Ultimately, Danica's racing career would get the green flag from Mom, and in 2000 it was off to the Formula Ford Festival, an entry-level series to open-wheel racing.
The Formula Ford Festival is definitely the turning point for her, I think, even personally, just going, wow, there was 125 drivers from 20-some countries, and she finished second. It reaffirmed her confidence in herself that, yes, this is what I'm meant to be, and I'm going to keep pushing forward.
Danica Patrick, the only female in the field today, the rookie on board, and she has done exactly what she's had to do. Very impressive.
We never looked at it as her going into a man's sport, to be real honest. I mean, you start racing go-karts, there's boys and girls, and I think her skill level escalated to the levels where we felt comfortable with her competing against the other competitors. As you go up the ranks, it just ends up being men more than women.
The one thing missing from this room, though, is the Indianapolis 500 trophy. That's my goal.
Danica's chance to obtain the prestigious Borg-Warner Trophy came in the 89th running of the Indianapolis 500.
It was a morning of emotional roller coaster morning, that's for sure. It was like one minute I'd be kind of sad and sort of just on the verge, and then the next I'm just elated that we're there.
Waiting was over. It's now time for Danica Patrick to make racing history.
For a moment, all is right with the world. Danica Patrick leading the Indianapolis 500.
That was unbelievable. I mean, you know, she had a day of mistakes, rookie mistakes.
And Danica Patrick has stopped the car.
Close call for Danica. Oh, we've got a spin on the track. Yellow, a spin on the track. Several cars involved.
I'm sorry. At lap 188, when Ray said, we need the restart of the century here, and she went into the lead, I'm like, oh my God, she could win the Indy 500.
Danica would finish fourth, the highest finish for a woman in the 500. Since then, she has arguably become one of the most successful female race car drivers.
I think she can really break down some barriers that maybe some of the other women that have been up there haven't had a chance, whether it be just Danica's very young and she's got great teams and great support behind her that maybe some of the other people weren't lucky enough to have had they had the same circumstance. I know that Danica's very determined and she won't be happy until she wins.
Danica, your parents have always played a large role in your racing career, and now both your mom and dad are working for you.
Yeah.
So explain to us a little bit about how
bizarre.
that tell us a little bit about that unique relationship.
I try and treat it as professionally and structured as possible by saying, you need to speak to my assistant. But it just feels so weird. I'm like, by the way, it's my mom. But how lucky am I that the two people that have been with me my whole life and have cared so much and have been through it all can help me still and can still be a part of it and hopefully have some fun while doing it. I know my dad always kept preoccupied with it anyway. If there was a good or bad day on the track, mostly if there was a bad day, my mom would be like, your dad's not getting any work done today. But how lucky am I? I have a family that's passionate about it with me.
Speaking of people who care so much, how has married life changed Danica Patrick?
It probably, I think it's made me a better person. I feel like I take the time for other people more so. I finally understand and realize what it is to sacrifice and to not be selfish and do things for yourself all the time and take time to, whether it be wash the dishes or just go get a card for them. I mean, it's those little things and thinking about others first. I spent so many years by myself and so much time on my own that I got into that groove pretty easily. So it's a lot nicer to give. So that's nice.
You haven't had a lot of time on your own because still ahead we're going to talk about Danica Mania. It took the IndyCar Series by storm last season. What's it like to be a fan favorite? We'll turn the microphone over to some of Danica's biggest supporters when we come back. Stay with us.
Sports SportsCenter, presented by Weber Grills at the Indianapolis 500. Brought to you by Weber, making the world a better place, one grill at a time.
Today was Community Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and no, that is not Dan Weldon. That is Minnie Mouse waving the green flag. Danica Patrick and some of the other drivers participated in the mini Indy charity race. And Danica, some of your fans wanted to pose a couple of questions.
Hi, I would like to be an Indy 500 driver. What advice would you give for young girls to have for being an Indy 500 driver?
Well, my advice would be you better love it, because if you're young and coming up through the ranks, it's tough. And I think that if your heart is really in it, you'll get there.
All right, let's hear from another fan.
Danica, how do you maintain your femininity in such a male-dominated sport?
Well, that's pretty easy. And actually, today I forgot it. I normally have a lip gloss with me for interviews when I can. But I just, I guess I'm fortunate enough I've got long hair, which really adds to looking like a girl. But just be yourself. I think whether you're a tough girl or a soft girl or feminine or not, just being yourself is being a good woman.
Now, Danica, 4 days until your second Indianapolis 500. What is your main focus now?
Oh, you reminded me.
No longer a rookie.
I know. I've been called a veteran. Now, at what point in time were you called a veteran?
I think probably after about 4 or 5 years, but you still learn even after 10 years what's going on.
And I really believe that, Scott. I really believe that after your first, second, third, 10th, 20th, whatever it is, you just keep learning. That's what makes racing so interesting, and that's why drivers that have been around for so long are so good, is because they just keep learning and getting better and smarter and more wise.
Mm-hmm. Your fans want to know, you start 10th, you started 4th a year ago. Can you win this race from 10th starting spot this year?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that you can win from any point on the grid. Here at Indy, with such a long race and so many pit stops that we make, strategy plays a huge part of this race, and it definitely played a big part last year for us. So I think that if we're smart there, we have good, clean pit stops, and I don't stall the thing, and we have a good, consistent car, that we definitely have a shot. I see no reason why not.
Danica, thanks for coming by, and best of luck on race day.
Thank you very much.
Danica Patrick. And now, without a doubt, life has been a whirlwind for Danica Patrick. Over the last 12 months, the Roscoe, Illinois native has evolved from a raw rookie to one of the most recognizable figures in all of motorsports. She was the Cinderella story here 1 year ago when the glass slipper almost fit on pole day, and again on race day, but it was not to be. This Sunday, Danica hopes to fulfill her destiny and realize her dreams. A lifetime of memories, all wrapped up with a single win here in the Indianapolis 500. So long, everybody.